Alright, the way this question works is sort of like a story, and so this business owner owns these golf clubs, and they're trying to come up with a price that they can offer to people, and they're guessing that in the future they're probably going to throw a sale on that price, and so they're trying to include that in this initial price. So that's what's happening in this story. So at the beginning there's these $700 clubs, and then there's some discounts on these clubs. 30% and 20%, and then this person wants to mark things up, okay? And so, like I said, they're going to guess in the future they're going to want to throw on this 30% discount, so they're going to keep that in mind. Plus, they need to make a profit, and so they need to keep that in mind. And then this person also has some expenses here as well. So we're using all these little pieces of information to come up with a selling price, and then later on we're going to talk about what happens in the fall, but that's later on in the story. Right now we're just coming up with this regular selling price. So just to find out the initial cost right here, I use this equation over here where I'm coming up with, they're taking 30% and 20% off of the $700, and that leaves me with $392. So that's how much these golf clubs costed me. And so I know the main formula that I'm going to be using is this one here, selling price equals cost plus my markup. I just figured out my cost, so that's no problem. But it's the markup, and in order to figure out the markup, I need to use the information in the question in order to do it. And so there's a couple different ways to come up with markup, and one of the ways is this. It's your profit plus your expenses. That's your markup. And we're using this one because those are the little clues they gave us in the story. We know the expenses here and we know the profit, and so we take 12.5% right here. When I'm going to figure out the profit, I take 12.5% of my cost, and that's going to give me $49, and then my expenses are 25% of my cost, and that gives me $98. So when I add that together, then I come up with $147. That's my markup, so that goes into my equation over here. So that's my cost of $392 plus my markup. So this right here, $539, that should be my honest selling price if I wanted to make an honest profit. But I'm guessing that later on down the road, I'm going to be offering this, this sale, this 30% discount. And so I want to mark this thing up even more to get even a higher number than $539. In order so that later on I can have a sale. And so that's what I'm doing over here. I have this price I want to come up with, and I want it to be higher than my $539. And so that's when I use my NPF here, 0.7. That's the 30%, and that's going to give me a list price of $770, and that's what I start selling it at, is $770. I do that so that later on in the fall I can offer a sale. So now months pass, you've been selling it for $770, and then you decide, oh, I want to offer a sale now, but you changed your mind. You don't want to just offer a 30%, you're going to actually offer a 40% discount. Maybe you weren't selling enough. So you throw on this extra discount, and then when I do that right down here, so the 40%, the NPF of 40% is 0.6. I multiply that by my list price that I was using, and that means I start selling these things at $462. So we need to figure out, how much this whole thing costs, how much money I end up making sort of in the end. So the total cost to me, I need to figure out, if I want to figure out my profit, I need to figure out the total cost, sort of to me. So I know that I bought them for $392. My expenses were $98, so the total cost to me is $490, but I'm selling them now for $462, so my profit is actually going to be a loss. I've been losing $28, and that's how you do that question.